think of yourself primarily as a singer or as a poet?
Well, I think of myself more as a song and dance man, you know.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Gerry. Today is May 24th, 2021, and today is the 80th birthday of American singer, songwriter, author, and visual artist Bob Dylan. There are few musicians who can match the fame and success of Bob Dylan. For 60 years, the figure of Bob Dylan has wandered through the entertainment industry with his many facets and twists, refusing to allow himself to be put into a corner. That's right, Bob Dylan, born Robert Allen Zimmerman on May 24th, 1941. He was often regarded as one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Bob Dylan has been a major figure in popular culture during a career spanning nearly 60 years. Much of his most celebrated work dates from the 1960s, when songs such as Blowin' in the Wind and The Times They Are A-Changin' became anthems for the civil rights and anti-war movements. His lyrics during this period incorporated a range of political, social, philosophical, and literary influences, defying pop music conventions and appealing to the burgeoning counterculture. Following a self-titled debut album in 1962, which mainly comprised traditional folk songs, Dylan made his breakthrough as a songwriter with the release of The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan the following year. The album features Blowin' in the Wind and the thematically complex A Hard Rain's A Gonna Fall. For many of these songs, he adapted the tunes as phraseology of older songs. He went on to release the politically charged The Times They Are A-Changin', and the more lyrically abstract and introspective Another Side of Bob Dylan in 1964. In 1965 and 66, Bob Dylan drew controversy when he adopted electrically amplified rock instrumentation, and in the space of 15 months, he recorded three of the most important and influential rock albums of the 1960s. And those included Bringing It All Back Home, Highway 61, and Blonde on Blonde, all recorded from 1965 to 66. And commenting on the 6-minute single Like a Rolling Stone, Rolling Stone magazine wrote, "No other pop song has so thoroughly challenged and transformed the commercial laws and artistic conventions of its time for all time." In July 1966, Bob Dylan withdrew from touring after a motorcycle accident. During this period, he recorded a large body of songs with members of the band who had previously backed him on tour. These recordings were released as the collaborative album The Basement Tapes in 1975. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Bob Dylan explored country music and rural themes in John Wesley Harding, Nashville Skyline, and New Morning. In 1975, he released Blood on the Tracks, which many saw as a return to form. In the late 1970s, he became a born-again Christian and released a series of albums of contemporary gospel music before returning to his more familiar rock-based idiom in the early 1980s. Dylan's 1997 album, Time Out of Mind, marked the beginning of a renaissance for his career. He has released 5 critically acclaimed albums of original material since then, the most recent being Rough and Rowdy Ways in 2020. And this album, he received his first #1 hit with a 17.5-minute song that didn't contain a chorus. Leave it to Bob. He also recorded a series of 3 albums in 2010 comprising versions of traditional American standards, especially songs recorded by Frank Sinatra. Backed by a changing lineup of musicians, Bob Dylan has toured steadily since the late 1980s on what has been dubbed as the never-ending tour, and we hope it truly never ends. Since 1994, Bob Dylan has published 8 books of drawings and paintings, and his work has been exhibited in major art galleries. He's sold more than 100 million records, making him one of the best-selling musicians of all time. He has received numerous awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 10 Grammy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and Academy Award for Best Song. Bob Dylan has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. The Pulitzer Prize Board in 2008 awarded Bob a special citation for his profound impact on popular music and American culture, marked by lyrical compositions of extraordinary poetic power. In 2016, Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for having created a new poetic expression within the great American song tradition. No one is quite sure of what we can expect from Bob Dylan next. But one thing for sure is that Bob Dylan is much more than his humble self-description as a song and dance man. This is DJ Gerry wishing Bob a happy 80th birthday and many, 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 many more years of happiness, health, and awesome music. Don't forget to keep listening to Bob Dylan and keep on rocking. Bye now.
Wherever you're